To get married in San Francisco. The
Beautiful
beginning
dome.
of a very long night in San Francisco with my wife.
Very long. Grant Tyler Peterson.
And Eric Gumby Anderson. And look at the big beautiful dome of the city that's finally giving us some justice.
For a couple days at least.
Braving the rain and cold,
law
hundreds of gay couples from around California and the country camped overnight outside San Francisco City Hall, waiting for the marriages to resume today.
It was cold, yeah, we couldn't sleep.
Volunteers joined city workers on their official day off to help process the paperwork and perform the marriages. What is happening in San Francisco is clearly in violation of California state law, which allows marriage only between a man and a woman. These couples hope that what they are doing here will have national implications.
This will just speed up the process. It'll speed it up to the Supreme Court, and then they'll just say, you know, it's unconstitutional not to recognize.
There it is. Grant's listed as the groom and Gumby's the bride. They haven't changed that yet.
Grant and I thought this was very apropos. It was just the most joyous day. Not only did it mean that we had some privilege that heterosexuals enjoy with their marriages, well, we thought we did at that point anyhow.
Some equality.
Yeah, some equality.
Look what they did.
Grant Peterson and Eric Anderson sign a condolence card expressing disappointment over the California Supreme Court decision that voids their marriage.
Today's decision is, you know, it's as part of the long road to civil equality.
The Fountain Valley couple stood in line to be married in San Francisco last February.
And it felt like finally our government is saying, look, you are worthy and equal citizens under the law.
I don't see it as a defeat. I see it as another victory, because that's what civil rights movements are about. A lot of Rosa Parks, a lot of acts of civil disobedience to get that equality, even if you don't have that authority at that time.
I wanted to put a human face on discrimination. What we did, I think, was appropriate. What we did is set a tone and tenor, not only in this city and state, but across this country. What we've done, I think, ultimately will be vindicated.
Hopeful. Look into the future, you know.
Our love is stronger than any word marriage or any validation that the government can give us. Our love is far above politics.
It's an old-fashioned gay wedding, so we wanted some tradition, some new tradition, something new thrown in, some old stuff kept. So, and as you notice, there's no reigning authority over us. There's no rabbi. There's no spiritual leader. We wanted our villages, our people, our community to be the unifying group that blesses our union. As a symbol of how we are all interconnected and how what we do affects other people, especially in the upcoming election, we'd like to symbolize this interconnectedness with yarn. So we're going to pass out some yarn and somehow tie yourself to it, wrap it around a wrist, lay it over your lap, whatever you like. But we just want it to be everywhere and connected to everyone. So when we're tying the knot today, we're also tying the knot with you all. When we went up to San Francisco and got married, supposedly in the city of San Francisco, now we have equal protections and benefits, but that's being challenged. So basically, the domestic partnership and what the country is heading toward is civil unions and domestic partnerships, which is basically separate but equal, a different name, which is much better than it was 10 years ago. However, as Brown v. Board of Education taught us, separate is not equal. Few people know about the history of same-sex unions, and as with most forms of bigotry, educating people has proven to be the best remedy.
When it comes to the struggle against homophobia, sexism, and racism, it is us who choose to speak out and say that we will not tolerate for discrimination. It is us who speak out and say to our church leaders, our neighbors, our sexist governor, and our homophobic president that no, we will not tolerate and we will not vote for you with such views. What happens in politics shapes us and our lives together in terms of institutional equality. For the past 10 months, I have been struggling to come up with excuses and lies to get out of the house so that I could go and take singing lessons. My house, I'll be your shelter.
I didn't think I was going to cry that much. I knew I was probably going to cry, but...
Am I that bad?
Well, you're keeping your wallet. I covered it with all this plastic stuff so it doesn't get messed up like the other photos and the other cards. It says, boyfriend, on our wedding day, I vow my love and my commitment to you. I vow to be there in the good times and the bad, to hold you, to stand by you, to strengthen you, and to also be loved by you. I vow to always to cherish our bond as one of life's greatest of gifts. With heartfelt love, your boyfriend, lover, companion, partner, co-parent, and husband, Grant Boydmore.
The history of gay marriage is quite lengthy, and same-sex love under Roman rule was a highly valued form of love. In fact, several Roman emperors had same-sex lovers. Several of them had more than one same-sex lover. And same-sex armies were revered, highly revered Roman legions. And there's an old Catholic tradition dating back 1700 years in which the priest would bind two men together with a belt. And where the story comes from, and after he would bind the two men together with a belt, and then he would pronounce them a couple. The story comes from two Roman warriors who were Christians, and the Roman emperor asked them to pledge their undying faith to him, the emperor, and not to Christ. And the warriors refused to do so, and so they were tortured and put to death. And one died first, and as the other was dying, he had a vision of his lover, and his lover said, "Let go, and in heaven your reward will be me." And we thought it was a really cool symbol, even though we're not religious, of bonding ourselves together in a time-honored tradition. I do.
As we stand here before your community of support, do you pledge your love, commitment, and companionship to Grant? Do you pledge to nurture your union as the most important and joyous bond in your life? Dummies, do you take Grant Tyler Peterson to be your boyfriend, partner, husband, companion, lover, and co-partner in life?
I do.
As your collective network of family and friends, we pridefully pronounce you spouse and spouse.
And soon after that, we moved to New York City, where we had a great time for a year. But after the re-election of George Bush, we decided to pack up our bags and move to England. But wherever we go, we bring our copy of XY magazine from 1997, coincidentally themed Love, where I first read about Eric and then hunted him down. We also have our Stairway of Same-Sex Marriage. It starts with our domestic partnership and our San Francisco marriage, and then goes to our Boston, Massachusetts marriage, which we got while in New York. Sadly, in 2006, I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, but in the middle of intensive radiation and chemo, we went up to Vancouver, Canada, and got married. Finally, our last frame remains empty, and will so until the US or the UK recognize same-sex marriage on an equal basis. Till then, it looks like we were married in IKEA.